Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Today, you are going to hear our super interesting, educational, and useful for you if you want to upgrade your health and lifespan and to better fulfill your potential in this life. So today you're going to hear our conversation with Douglas Giampapa, the CEO of a company that I believe might just transform the way we look at our supplements, at our vitamins, and the way they work, delivering more value than we have now in the industry. So the company is HealthyCell, and they created this innovative technology, bioactive gel technology, as a new platform for dietary micronutrient delivery. Or basically, they created this technology, food technology, to better deliver your vitamins into your system, into your body. Because if you didn't know that yet, you are usually able to absorb just 20-30% of the stuff in your vitamins and supplements at best. So HealthyCell, the company, Douglas and his team, they created this new bioactive gel technology on a mission to get your vitamins evolved for maximum absorption. Because guys, it's not what you put in your mouth that matters. What matters is actually what your body absorbs from that, right? If it's just an expensive urine and it just goes through your system, at best not doing any harm, then why bother spending your money and taking all this stuff? Placebo effect is fun, of course, but you probably want to get something more for your money than just placebo. So HealthyCell and their supplements that I'm very excited about are going to raise the bar for all the supplement companies trying to deliver maximum nutrition from our supplements into our body. So stay tuned for our conversation where you will learn how effective are your vitamins actually. Just more expensive urine? Scent-like stuff that harms your gut? Is it worth your money? How you can save money and get healthier buying more expensive supplements similar to HealthyCell Bioactive Multi. Industry standards for vitamin absorption and how HealthyCell raises the bar, making it better for all of us on a mission to upgrade our health and lifespans, fulfilling our potential. How do the researchers actually know how much of vitamins and supplements we take daily or on a regular basis are actually absorbed by our body? How do they know it? How do they figure that out? Stay tuned to learn about that and to learn more interesting and fascinating stuff about the future of our supplements, our vitamins, our micronutrients, and perhaps the whole healthy eating food industry. So stay tuned, and as usual, till next time, eat better daily. Hi Douglas, welcome to Food School Podcast. Welcome to the show, and thank you for giving me and our listeners your time to talk about this new product that I'm super excited about and that you're gonna tell us about. And so tell our listeners a little bit of your background, how did it all start, and how did you end up here today making this super cool product?
So yes, Angela, thank you for having me on. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to your listeners. We're doing some really cool stuff here. I'll give you a kind of a quick background. So I've basically been around doctors my whole life. My father is a medical doctor. His colleagues are doctors. And so I took over this company in 2015 when it was making a line of products for cellular health. Every organ and tissue of our bodies is made of cells. So if we can make those healthy, we can make ourselves healthy. And what I realized was we had great products that they were delivered in tablets and capsules, and the industry standard for tablets and capsules is pretty low on the absorption. And so I started looking into it more and realized that there really hasn't been any change in the way nutrients get delivered since really the 1930s, when these tablets and capsules started becoming more widespread. And if you look at other industries, like, for example, the music industry, they went from, records to, 8 tracks to tapes to CDs to MP3s, and now streaming to deliver the product, right, which is actually music. Mm-hmm. And so in our industry, we're still using the same thing that music was using back in the 30s. It's like back in the times of records. So we were looking at a long innovation gap in our industry. We decided to close that innovation gap by using a different technology to deliver vitamins, minerals, and other micronutrients. And so we took our cell health products, several different products, started looking at how we can make them more bioavailable, more absorbable, that is. Mm-hmm. And so with my father's colleagues and some other new colleagues that I met, we found some interesting things. I basically partnered with Dr. Mark Nauvoo, who at the time was working out of University of New England. And I went up to visit him and realized that tablets and capsules really are not the best way to deliver nutrients. We did some experiments. We dissolved those tablets, capsules, and even powders. I'm sorry, not dissolved. We took those tablets, capsules, and powders and put them in water, put them in simulated stomach fluid, put them in simulated digestive fluid or gastric fluid, and they did not dissolve. They disintegrated, and those are two different things. So at the end of the process, there was like a layer of sediment or sand-like material at the bottom of the test tube, and there was almost nothing that got dissolved into the water or into the simulated digestive fluid. So what we realized was most of the stuff's not small enough to dissolve. So then we took a look at that sand-like material at the bottom of the test tube and said, how big are these particles? Can we actually absorb them? And it turns out, with some very sophisticated equipment, we measured these particles, and they were between 10 and 100 times too big to be absorbed through the small intestine. And so the conclusion was this stuff is not being absorbed. So we actually, at the time, I found it hard to believe that 220 million Americans take supplements every day, but most of them are not being absorbed, most of the nutrients inside. So I pulled in some other PhDs from University of Amherst to have a conference call with our PhD, and they confirmed the same thing. They were seeing the same thing in their lab. So then we felt really confident that the state of the industry is really way behind, and we can do a much better job. Imagine if you took imagine if you listen to music today and you heard, you only heard every fifth word, right? 20%. Like people would go crazy. They wouldn't accept that, right? But that's what we're accepting in our industry, is buying something and then only being able to absorb, say, between 10 and 30%. Is what most scientists estimate. And then what you actually absorb is a fraction of that, because it's going to depend on how good your digestive system is. So it's a small amount that you absorb from most tablets, capsules, and powders. And so we decided to come up with a different way of doing it. And instead of looking at the way nutrients are delivered now and like the different manufacturing capabilities of production facilities, tableting and encapsulating, we looked to food science. And so what we did was we ended up creating what's called a bioactive gel. And it works like this. We take the nutrients, fat-soluble nutrients and the water-soluble nutrients. On the fat-soluble side, we basically micronize them, so they're really, really small particles using high shear, and then we emulsify them. So it's like a fully dissolved material. And then we take the water-soluble ingredients, screen them to make sure that they're really water-soluble. For example, sometimes we go through 20 different ingredient sources before we find one that is actually able to dissolve in water. Then we take those both sides, the fat-soluble side. Oh, hold on one second. Let me just get rid of this. So we take both of those sides, the fat-soluble side and the water-soluble side, and then we infuse them into a gel, a natural gel made of actually prebiotic materials like acacia gum citrus pectin, soluble fibers from O-beta glucan. And at the end of the day, you have a really good tasting gel. Smells good, tastes good, naturally colored, that has ingredients that are 100% soluble, meaning they dissolve. And the nutrient particles, because they're able to be dissolved, naturally the nutrient particles are much smaller, and you can absorb 100% of what's in this product. Depending on your system, that will determine actually how much you absorb. People who are a little bit older tend to absorb less than people who are younger because their digestive systems aren't as effective. So it's actually more important for older people to take supplements like this in this new bioactive gel or micro gel form. And another cool part about this gel is that we're doing experiments now and seeing that well, actually, I shouldn't use the word experiment. That'll scare people. Another cool part about this gel is that when it's in high acidic environments like the stomach, it tends to shrink up and hold its structure, protecting the nutrients. And then when it's in the small intestine, it actually is able to disperse and release these micro-sized nutrients so that they can be absorbed properly into the bloodstream through the intestinal wall. So really cool stuff. pH-controlled nutrient particles, small enough to absorb. And that's where we think the future of the industry is going. Not only is it more effective, but it's a better experience. You can take it right out of the gel pack, squeeze it down almost like an energy gel shot. You can mix it in a smoothie. You can mix it in yogurt. Damn it. So as I was saying, what's really cool is it's a better experience because you can squeeze it right out of the gel pack. You can mix it in smoothies, mix it in yogurt, mix it in water, drizzle it over a yogurt parfait. There are so many cool ways to take this that means what it means is that people don't have to choke down a hard, dehydrated, compacted pill anymore. And the other cool thing is it's more natural, right? You don't have binding glues, fillers, coatings, anti-caking agents, all the other stuff that goes into tablets and capsules during the production process that we don't have to deal with. So those are the three benefits: more effective, better experience, more natural. And we're just really excited to bring these out and improve the experience for people all over the world.
Mm-hmm. I have a question. Do you have a way right now to prove, like in people's trials, that it is actually absorbed better? Like, is there a way to show that in the blood or somewhere else you can see all those vitamins and minerals and other nutrients that, like, what percentage is actually absorbed?
Yeah, so everybody's different. So we can't make a statement saying like X percent of this is actually absorbed, but what we can say is that X percent of this is absorbable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Meaning 100% of this gel is able to be absorbed. And then depending on the person, that'll determine how much they actually absorb. So we're doing a clinical study right now that compares how much people actually absorb from tablets versus this gel.
Mm-hmm.
And what we can say at this moment, based on the scientific literature, is that the surrogate, or in other words, the marker for bioavailability, or what you're able to absorb, is solubility, right? So basically, that's a complicated way of saying if it dissolves in water, you're much more likely to absorb it
Mm-hmm.
than if it does not dissolve in water. And so that's what we're able to claim right now. So we're able to claim maximum absorption because it is fully soluble, meaning it dissolves in water. Once we have the clinical study results, which we should have in 60 to 90 days, we will be able to say definitively that bioactive gel delivers, X percent more absorption compared to tablets. And so that's why we're doing the clinical study right now.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense about water and certain nutrients being water soluble 100%. What I'm curious about, how do they, like, or you, whoever does the studies, how do you know that certain vitamin or mineral or nutrient is absorbed by human body or digestive tract or?
Sure. So basically, how are we doing the study? How are we measuring it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's what we're doing is we're measuring the presence of certain vitamins and minerals in the bloodstream. So we take somebody before they've taken the product, we measure their blood levels, certain vitamins and minerals, and then we have them take the product and then measure their blood levels again at different time periods. So 30 minutes after they take the bioactive gel, an hour after, 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, and we see the concentration levels kind of, start to go up, plateau, and then start to come down. And so the way we measure absorption is called area under the curve. And so our hypothesis, we're very confident we'll see this in the study, is that the area under the curve is greater for bioactive gel versus tablets. And so that's what we'll be taking a look at. The other way to measure micronutrients is to look at what's called an intracellular test. So getting beyond the blood test now, an intracellular test gives you kind of a longer window of the nutritional status of your diet. So if you take an intracellular test, it looks at the amounts of vitamins and minerals and certain nutrients within the cells, and that gives you like a 6-month window roughly. Okay. So you can see basically what's been, it's kind of a representative picture of the last 6 months of your life versus blood, which is, a much shorter window, just kind of showing you what's happened in the past few days.
Okay, yeah, now I understand better. Yeah. Thank you.
Sure.
You said that you believe this is the future of, supplements or like delivery of certain nutrients. What do you mean exactly by that future? Like the gel part or some delivery method? Yeah.
The gel. So instead of people kind of, settling for these old-fashioned tablets that they're kind of choking on and wondering if they even work, having a bad experience with, we believe that the industry will move more towards kind of food science rather than these older kind of manufacturing capabilities in the supplement industry. Mm-hmm. We think that other manufacturers will take note, other nutrition supplement brands will take note and start converting their formulas over from tablets, capsules, and powders into gels for a better efficacy, better consumer experience, and a more natural approach. So we do see that as the future. We hope it's the future. We hope it's not just us that are doing it, because we think more people will be helped by this. The only challenge is, to adoption in the industry is that it costs a lot more money to do things this way. It takes a lot longer to develop products because we don't, when you think about it, someone who makes a tablet or capsule, they don't need to worry about how something tastes or smells or what the color is. I mean, all these organoleptic properties, what the mouthfeel is, this is something that makes developing products a lot more difficult. And so it takes longer, it's more expensive on the development side, the research and development side, but it's also more expensive on the production side. So, to take the ingredients, do the screening, the testing, have them go through this process to make the gel, it's a lot harder than just throwing them in a mixer and then putting binding glues in there and stamping them. Right. Yeah. And on the packaging side, it's more complicated too, because we have the gel packs, which requires a lot more labor, and it takes longer to make. So it's just more expensive and tougher, and that's the only challenge to kind of widespread adoption.
But it seems that if you take into account the percentage of the supplement that is absorbed, then the cost might be for a consumer might be less if you consider that factor. Like if you're getting more for that price, much more than you would get from pill or some other form of supplement.
An educated consumer would think that way, but it's difficult to communicate that to people to say, well, you might be paying, $50 for this and $20 for the other thing, but, $20, you're getting maybe 10% absorption. So you're really getting, 20 times 10% is $2 worth. Whereas with us, you're getting something that's 100% bioavailable. It's hard for them to do that math. Consumers typically don't like to do math. So that's one of the challenges we have as a company, is to communicate that value.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I think, it's kind of like with organic food. For some people, it's still hard to understand, like, what's the difference, right? But more and more people realize that, they do not get all the pesticides, herbicides, and whatever else, there can be in conventional food, but then also organic food, for example, has more nutrition, has proven to have more nutrition. So I think, there is a market for more, I don't know, complex supplement, or something that needs, a little bit more education and explaining.
There is, and that's the market we're going after now. It's a smaller piece of the overall market, but that's the that's the niche that we think will understand, appreciate, and adopt this new technology. And then from there, I think it will spread out to more of the broader market. When the early adopters take it on and help us with the whole education process, with all the other consumers. Yeah. But you also hit on another important point, is herbicides and pesticides. I mean, in the United States, when someone makes a supplement, the finished product that only has to go through testing for heavy metals and testing for microbiological contaminants like E. coli, staph, and salmonella, or really just E. coli and salmonella and several other things. But what we do is we go a step further. We test for things that are not required, even though they're more expensive, because we think it's important. We test for pesticides and herbicides, which there are so many. It will blow your mind to know how many of them there are out there. And I can send you a report that has all the list of pesticides that are tested for. It's expensive, but we think it's really important. And you'd be surprised, a lot of the ingredients in a lot of the supplements on the market today, if you were to put them through this testing, especially the ones that are plant extracts, or ground plant parts, you will likely find a few pesticides in them. So it's really, I think they should require pesticide and herbicide testing, but the industry just hasn't done it yet.
I think in general, supplement industry is like, there is a lot of mess. That's what I'm trying to say. The other day I was trying to buy a multivitamin here, actually, where I am, and it was U.S. The supplement produced in U.S. and then the package, it said may cause adverse health effects in children and something else. And in Russia nobody really reads those labels, especially in Russia, but probably in US too. And I'm like, why would I take a supplement that might cause adverse effects in kids? Like, I'm no kid, but I don't think I'm that much different. And if it causes some adverse health effects in kids, then adults probably too. I was just like, yeah, it's really funny for me where.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what might have been in that for them to say that, or maybe it was some sort of regulatory requirement. I'm not sure, but yeah, there's a lot of issues in the industry, and I think the better brands who are doing good jobs at this, will start to be rewarded by the customers, and those brands that are just trying to use hyperbole marketing and make money and do everything as cheap as possible, I think will end up, going out of business, hopefully, because the consumer is becoming more educated.
Yeah, all they will change eventually. That's what I believe. I'm just supplements is one thing that I'm really passionate about, actually, and I'm really frustrated with the quality of most of the supplements and how little thinking goes into, most of my clients, when they look at the supplement and I ask them to send me the label of the supplement, they will send it to me, usually showing the amount of like vitamins and minerals, all that stuff. And then I always ask them, could you show me full ingredient list, meaning other ingredients stuff? And there usually you can find all kinds of things that I would not recommend to take anyone who cares a little bit about their health.
Yeah, and it's not only the other ingredients or potential contaminants, but it's just these dry, dehydrated particles that do not break down. And some scientists even think that it's almost like swallowing fine sand that may scratch the lining of your digestive tract and cause inflammation. So there's more research that needs to be done on that, but that could be a reason for certain GI issues that a lot of people experience now. So, a gel, alleviates that issue too. We don't have any of that issue with hard particles and gels. And when you think about nature, most nutrients, and Dr. Mark Navu, who we work with, always says this, almost all nutrients in nature come with some sort of water or moisture, right? They're never dry, dehydrated particles. So, if you bite into an apple or you bite into a mango or whatever it is, these nutrients are solubilized in water. You're not biting into like dry, hard, dehydrated particles of mango that cannot be resolubilized or cannot be made, to absorb water or be absorbed in water again. So it's just so non-natural. It doesn't follow the natural order to take nutrients in like this, like tablets,
Yeah, I agree. We have a lot to learn about what's the best way to deliver those nutrients to into our body. What are there any other cool features or things you'd like to mention about your products or your company?
Well, I think we covered most of it. I will tell you that because our packaging is a gel pack, we wanted to figure out how to create less waste, even though we have more packaging. So we do have a recycling program where any of our customers can go to our website and request a bag. We send out a bag of it's basically a flexible packaging bag that they can stuff these gel packs in after they've used them. And it's prepaid, so all they have to do is fill it, seal it, send it back out in the mail within the United States. That is prepaid, so they don't have to pay anything out of pocket. And it goes to TerraCycle, which is a company we've partnered with. That's TerraCyle, TerraCycle. And they will recycle these flexible gel packs. So basically, we're able to create a zero waste packaging. So our boxes themselves are cardboard, which is recyclable in local municipality programs here in the States. And the gel packs through TerraCycle are recyclable as well. So we're trying to make everything recyclable. And, we think that's important, not only for to help ourselves with health, but also help the environment, doing things in an ecologically conscious manner. When you think about it, a lot of the nutrients that we get and we put in our products are from nature, right? So we have to kind of complete that circle and reciprocate and take care of nature so it can keep providing for us, right? And so that's part of why, we're doing what we're doing with our recycling program.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree that we need to take care of ourselves, but also of our home, that is our planet. And the greener we can get in our production of anything, the better it is for each of us.
Right.
What do you see as the future of your company in particular? Are there any other things you're excited about that maybe you're about to create or release to the market, or just things and direction where you see your company going?
In the near future, what we're doing is taking our current cellular healthy aging products that we sell in tablets now and converting them over to gels as quickly as possible, so we can kind of get away from that industry standard of 10 to roughly 30% absorbable material and convert it over to gels for 100% absorbable material. So we're excited about, for our current customers who are taking those, what we call legacy products, we're really excited about getting them the same formulas in a better delivery system. So that's what we're doing in the near future. For now, we have our bioactive multi available to the public, and that is your essential vitamins and minerals plus phytonutrients, antioxidants, and polyphenols from a specific berry blend of several health conducive berries. And obviously, as we mentioned earlier, the gel itself is made of prebiotics. So, it's got that benefit as well. So it's more like a multivitamin plus. And I personally take it in the morning. I mix it with my yogurt because then I'm getting the probiotics from my yogurt, the prebiotics from the gel, and then all of the essential micronutrients from the gel in absorbable form. So that's available now. Any of your listeners can go to healthycell.com and they can review it. They can order from there. That's HealthyCell, CELL, healthycell.com.
And we're going to link it in the show notes.
Okay, cool. And then, what I can do too for your listeners to give them a little extra benefit, I can set up a code for them for 20% off their first order.
Yeah, that would be great.
You tell me, Angela 20, and they can get 20% off their first order. So doesn't matter, uppercase, lowercase, just Angela 20 at checkout, and we'll get them 20% off their first order.
Yeah, I'm sure our listeners will love it. And just also wanted to add what I really love about your product is it's more of like a food or snack that people can eat by itself or add to water, to smoothies. So it's, as you said, you're moving more to foods or food-like substances from just tablets or something that people are not really excited about taking and often forget.
That's right. And that's like when they developed it, that's what they did. They looked into food science, not, manufacturing facilities for tablet makers. And not only is it created based more on food science, but you can incorporate it into your routine, like you said, smoothies, put it in your juice and mix it up, put it in water. If you're going to the gym, you can squirt it in a water bottle, or you can just take it right out of the gel pack. I mean, sometimes I'm in a rush and it's more convenient for me to just tear off the top and shoot it down real quick. I have a few in my refrigerator just for that purpose. And, when I'm late in the morning, that's what I do. And I think it tastes more refreshing and, it is really best served, directly if it's chilled. It's just a more kind of refreshing, better taste, I think, but it tastes great even without it being chilled, and you don't have to chill it. It's not going to go bad.
Yeah, it's convenient and delicious way to deliver your vitamins evolved for maximum absorption. I love that on your website.
Yeah, and we don't use these nasty preservatives either, like sodium benzoate. We use there's a special tea extract that they use for preservative now, and there's also we use a little bit of sorbic acid, which is a substance that can also be naturally found in things like cranberries and stuff like that. So it's not one of these harsh preservatives that they don't even allow at certain food chain, certain restaurants or grocery stores here in the United States, like Whole Foods and Panera Bread. It's one of the friendly label approaches.
Yeah, clean label. I love it. So thank you, Douglas, again for sharing all this information, amazing stories about the future of supplements, hopefully for all of us, for better health, lifespan, more energy, and to just feel better and live better and fulfill our potential fuller.
Absolutely, my pleasure, and I hope your listeners were able to learn something new today about the industry and maybe change the way that they take supplements for the better.
Yeah, then that's the ultimate goal, to give education, to increase awareness, and to ultimately change behavior for the better.
Right. Cool. Exactly. It means nothing if they don't change behavior. So you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, and is there anything else you'd like to add as a parting thought? Maybe health advice, healthy eating advice, or anything really health related, lifestyle related?
So, I mean, I would say that, I think it's important to note that supplements are not a silver bullet, right? And we agree that most of your nutrients should come from your diet. Supplements are there to fill the gaps in your diet and to bring you certain health conducive nutrients that maybe you can't get easily with your local food source. So we would say diet first, the right supplement second, and then that's just still, those are just a few spokes on the wheel of health, right? You have proper sleep, which you can't really, you can't understate that. I mean, or you can't overstate that, I should say. Sleep is incredibly important. Hydration is incredibly important. I think most people are chronically dehydrated. That's what the data show, and that leads to a number of other problems. There's actually a good book out there now called Quench, Quench, and it's about how you drink. There's water in three forms typically people know about, which is liquid and ice, but there's actually a fourth form. Yeah, what they call it, they call it gel water. Where it's the type of water that's typically found in plants, fruits, vegetables, and they actually advocate eating your water and also taking your water with things that will slow down the absorption process, not just chugging liquid water that goes right through you, most of it, but to eat your water, like for example in cucumbers, which have a very high water content, and that will help carry that water slower through your digestive system, and you'll be able to absorb more of it because it's going slower and because it's in this gel form. Very cool book. So
yeah, I'm gonna link it and look it up.
Yeah, eating right, supplements that are proper in gel form, hopefully, sleeping, eating your water, staying hydrated, and I would also say, de-stress and meditation is key. And the last piece, as you know very well from looking at your picture here, exercise. So, I mean, those are kind of the spokes of the wheel of health. So, it's anyone who says a supplement is a silver bullet and that's all you need to do is not really giving you good advice. It's all, it's a collective approach.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, 100%. It's a system that we need to work on. Yeah, thank you for sharing this with us.
Absolutely.